What's going on, everybody? This is Al from PlaybookGamer.com, and today I want to do a video on one of my all-time favorite sports games, and that is NCAA football for the Super Nintendo. Now, this may be a bit of a curveball compared to what I normally put out there on the channel, but I had a conversation with a buddy of mine a couple days ago, and he thought it was a good idea for me to start posting and playing some old school games. We're talking Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, 64, all that type of stuff. And I thought that was a good idea. And so I wanted to start with this game because this is the first one I thought of. This was the first football game I ever remember playing. I'm a child of the 90s. And this game came out in 94, and I was 9 years old at the time. So this has a lot of sentimental value to me, even though it's not the greatest game in the world. But I just wanted to at least cover in the first video an overview of the game. There's not a whole lot to it, but at least I could go through all the basics of kind of what it has to offer. And if I feel like playing some more, I will, and I can do more videos after that. So what we may do today is, again, go through the basics. I may do like a quarter or two, and I'll show you some other things as well. So let's just go ahead and get started. This is the first thing that pops up. And when it comes to game modes, this game doesn't have much at all. You can either do an exhibition game or a tournament. Now, what's weird about this game is there is no back button. So when I go into exhibition, I can't back out and go into the tournament. I've looked in the instruction manual, which, by the way, is in the description below. I have a link for it. It goes straight to the store. I put all the manuals in my store for those of you who saw my post from a couple days ago on the community tab. It's all free. All the manuals are free, especially this one. And I could not find a way to back out to a previous screen. So what we're going to do is start off with exhibition, and I'll show you what's all available. Now, this game does not offer different types of rosters in terms of, hey, one team is better than the other. You don't know if a quarterback is good on one team or the other. The way it's set up is every team is exactly the same. I've looked at it again in the instruction manual. I can't find anywhere where it tells me that one team is different, better, or worse than any other. And it shows here the 1993 statistics. I think that has no bearings on the roster itself. It is what it is. So you're going to play like an even matchup throughout. So it's sort of like chess in a way. Chess is like the ultimate board game. I kind of get that. But in terms of just pure even matchups, you're going to get that every single time. So let's go ahead and just look at some of the roster or some of the teams that are available. I want to go to the very beginning. There's over 40 teams in this game. And we'll start at the very beginning with Air Force, Arizona, Arkansas. And it shows at the bottom right what the uniforms look like. There's Army, Auburn, Baylor, BC, BYU, Cal, Clemson, Colorado, Georgia Tech, Hawaii, Illinois, Kansas State, Louisville, LSU, Miami, Mississippi State, Nebraska, North Carolina, NC State, Oklahoma, Penn State, Pitt, Southern Methodist, Southern Miss, Stanford, Tennessee, Syracuse, Texas A&M, Texas Tech, Tulane, UCLA, Virginia, Virginia Tech, Washington, Wisconsin, and then finally Wyoming. So just for now, we'll just go and just play a game. We'll play like a quarter or so. And I'll play Tennessee. And then we'll take on, let's go up against a rival. Let's just pick, let's go up against LSU. Let's have an SEC matchup. Now, these are the only options you have in terms of the game settings. Quarter length, it's 5, 10, or 15. For now, we'll just do 5. Like I said, we'll only do like a quarter or so. And whether it's, you can set up to automatic, fair, rain, or snow. We'll just do fair for now. And of course, we get to pick who we want. Now, out of the gate, the first player always receives the ball. There's no coin toss at all. And you see, I can toggle off and on that top left screen. I'm not a big fan of it. And there's like over 40 plays from different formations and such. And let's just start off with one. Let's go with a basic run. You can fake snap it. You can hear the fake snap. So we can run up to the left. And, you know, the controls feel pretty good. Like I said, it's been years since I played this. Let's just pick another run play. If you're going up against a human player, the fake snap stuff is well worth it because you can get a lot of offsides, interesting situations. And this is a perfect example of what happened here. Now, what's really cool about this game is you can press start at the play call screen and it gives you, you know, statistics. You could call a timeout, controller stats. Then you can also do instant replay. Now, let me see if I remember how to do this. Okay. What's interesting with this play or with the running game in general, like when you snap the ball, never control the quarterback unless it's like an option play. Obviously, you want to control them then, but this is like a basic handoff. But you notice that the quarterback kept the ball. That's because I was controlling the D-pad with him, and he automatically keeps it. So you can treat it like an RPO type of situation, or like not an RPR, not an RPO per se. But what's really cool is if I felt like my halfback was going to get beat on the backfield, going to get tackled, I could keep it with the quarterback if needed. So it's honestly, it's kind of like a zone read in a way, which is pretty cool. So what we can do is we can go back and go back to resume game, and let's just pick like another run play. And bootleg, let's do a basic run. Let's do 22 sweep. Now, as long as you don't touch the D-pad before the halfback gets it, there you go. Then the halfback controls it. Or you control the halfback and you can do some things with it. So, like I said, the controls are okay. Now, the passing game, it's a lot like Tecmo Bowl. You have to cycle through your receivers. So you got to keep pressing A before you have to press, or B before you have to press Y in order to, like, I'll go ahead and hit the halfback if I can. That's a good little play there. Get about 9 yards. But you kind of keep pressing A. So let's go pick another pass play. Let's do this double hook. Let's cycle through. I'm not really seeing anybody, so let's just go back to this guy. He was my number one read to begin with. Pick up a first down there. Now, I've done a little research, and there's not a whole lot about this game on the internet, but apparently this is definitely geared towards the offensive side of things. You can run option. I think I pressed the wrong button. I think I'm supposed to press the other one. Either way, it's a fun little game. I mean, it's simple. There's not a whole lot to it. Good little pitch there. Oh, I thought he was going to get me right there. And every time I would do a touchdown, I would do like a little neon Deion Sanders dance. You know, you do the Deion. I do that every single time. Oh, that brings back so much memories. So fun. So the kick meter is interesting. Let's kick a field goal. You hold the button until you release it on power, then you press the button again when it hits angle. So I'm going to hold it, let it go, and then press the button again for an easy extra point. So that's how you kick. That's not too bad. The thing is, I think you can... Oh, it's the angle. Never mind. Yeah, the angle is the direction of it, so you have to be real careful with that in terms of when you're trying to angle for field goals and such. But in this case, you know, I'll just try to keep it pretty accurate as I can. Now, what's interesting with defense is every play is a zone defense. Look at all these right here. Everything is a zone defense, which I find hilarious. And not in a good way, but it's still pretty funny. And one of the things I remember with this game is you can dive like 6 yards or so, like to try to go after a guy, like that right there. Like, look at me, I dove like 7 yards. I remember having to dive for everybody back in the day. We can do like a prevent one, which I don't know why it's called prevent one. There's nothing prevent, there's nothing one high about it. But we can cycle through these guys. I don't even remember what this guy's supposed to do. Okay, so I just found out as long as you don't move the directional pad or move your guy, he automatically goes where he's supposed to. So it's 3rd and 4. Let's do a safety blitz because I have no clue what they're going to call. Let's control a safety. It's probably not a good idea. We may have to put our full football screen on. That's a good play there. Pick up a first down there. And we can go with, look at all this. All this is zone. I think it's just so funny. We'll go with 46 attack if you want to do the old 46 bear front back in the old Chicago Bears 85 days. Oh, wide receiver reverse. That's a good stop there. A loss of 7. And I hope you can hear it in the background. I had to really adjust the sound of this game just so you can hear me more so than the game itself. Although I do like hearing, you know, the sound of the game itself, and I pressed the wrong button to try to dive. It's supposed to be A, I think. So 3rd and 15, we can do a prevent 3 again. You can cycle through by pressing B, your players pre-snap, and I think it's post-snap as well. Yeah, it's a good tackle there. 4th and 14, so we're going to get the ball back. Let's do a punt return. I think we're like, yeah, we should be fine on the punt return. And let's look at the full screen and see if we're going to go to the bottom from what it looks like. I don't see many people down there. Nope, never mind. I was wrong. Maybe it's the yellow that's on. I wasn't paying attention. Maybe it's the yellow that's supposed to be the defense. Okay, let's do an RB deep. Dang it. I was supposed to toggle through the guys, and he didn't throw it to him for whatever reason. So that was my bad. So let's do a 46 sweep to make up for it. I've always been told running to the outside is like the best way to really get some yards in this game. As you see here, pretty decent gain. I try to dive. It's 3rd and 9. Gain of 18. We may run it again. Let's do a sweep up the top. So I'm on the right hash. I want to use more grass. So I want to run up to the top. Hopefully it'll work, and looks like we're going to get a decent gain of it. Good block there. If you dive, get an extra 5 yards out of it. So maybe it's a good, good habit to start diving on those. Now let's do a curl. And he looks open, so let's just give it to him. Yeah, that's a good play. Get an extra 5 yards. I was going to get tackled a few yards back if I would let him tackle me without me diving. I heard running up the middle is kind of tough in this game. We can try it. Like I said, it's been years since I played it. Yeah, there's not much there. We can go back to another run. This 46 sweep looks good again. Let's just try that. Looks like they're running a 4-3. He may not have been. He probably wasn't going to attack me. That's my bad. So let's do a double hook. Can we get a passing touchdown out of this? Oh, wow. Oh, intercepted. Nope, he's going to catch a touchdown. Tennessee. Touchdown. Awesome. So that's pretty cool. So that's the game in and of itself. So what I want to do is I want to keep this video just kind of short. There's not a whole lot to talk about. But that's just kind of game. That's kind of all there is to it. Now, what's really cool is, you got game stats, or, it's all there. Let's go, if I can get to it. Let's just end the game. And here's what the other thing I want to show. This is the reason why most people play it. You can have a full-blown playoff in this game. So when you go to tournament, it shows the best of the 90s, 80s, 70s, and 60s. But all that does, it takes the best 16 teams the game thinks is from the 90s and just puts them in a tournament. Or you can set up the matchups yourself. I can have Tennessee, I can have like an all SEC on one side and an all Big 12 on the other. But if you want to do something, just random, this is kind of like a random way of doing it. Not so much random, but like if I go into the 70s, these are all apparently the best teams of the 70s. Now, again, I cannot go back to that selection. So if you messed up, you got no choice but to go through the game, stop it while you're calling a play, and then go back to the main menu. But from here, you can select the team you want to pick. Like, I can be like Pitt. And then there's the tournament tree. And from here, you cannot control the weather. You can only do this. So it looks like I will be kicking off first. Not the best power and angle. Looks like we got rain. I think that's what that looks like. Oh, a fumble. Where am I at? Wow, he's going to score a touchdown. Oh, I got to him. That's hilarious. Ah, he almost scored a touchdown on that. So let's do like an all-out linebacker blitz. We'll just play a couple of plays. And that's what happens when you dive. You can get an offside. I did that on purpose. So let's try that again. I wanted to show you what happens. The dive button is always live. And that is an easy touchdown for 6 points. So what you can do when you go to the play call screen is go here and you can look up the tournament tree, see how things are going. It all stays the same. Okay, I didn't know if it like updated with scores and such, but it looks like it does it. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. I mean, I could go through a full game, and I may do that like in another video. But I just want to do like a quick video just like on the game itself and sort of what to expect. So the game automatically saves it. I'm glad this popped up. You could go to the playoffs that you just done, or you could create another one from scratch. So if you create another one from scratch, your previous tournament goes away. So that's what that is. So I hope you enjoyed all this. If you're interested in wanting me to play around, maybe do a little tournament, I could do a little series on a tournament fair, see if I can win the whole thing. What I'm interested in is I want to play around with the playbook some and see like which players is like your number 1 read, your number 2 read, because it forces you to do a progression read system. Because your first read, it kind of depends on the pass play. And I also want to fool around with the run plays and such. So I think I may do a little series on this game in general. But this video, I just wanted to point out the basics and kind of what the game has to offer. Because as you can tell, there's not a whole lot to it. But I put a ton of hours in it when I was little. So I don't mind putting quite a few hours in it for here until I decide to play another game. So I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what you think about in the comment section. This game, of course, but also I want to play some other retro games from the Super Nintendo, NES, 64, sports games. I don't mind doing it. I want to get it back into basketball, baseball, soccer, hockey, NHL 94. Kind of get an amen on that. You know, I'm a big wrestling guy. Don't get me started on all the hours that I put in playing wrestling games back in the day. So there's just a lot of opportunities there. So between doing the retro stuff and doing 06, I think that's a good mix of various things. So who knows what's going to pop up. But again, I hope you like this. I'm enjoying playing this, and I kind of want to do a little bit more into it. I just want to fool around with the playbooks and kind of see what really works and what doesn't. So that should be a whole lot of fun. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.